Raising consciousness through spoken word, ladies and gentlemen. We've got copies available. We want to sell books because we want to keep going with this. We all want to keep going. We want to keep raising consciousness through our words. And speaking of which, somebody who does raise also, one of the many people who raises consciousness with her words is Patty Martin. She has something over in Torrington. We've gone from Hartford, now we're in Torrington. She has something called the Poetry Speakeasy every first Sunday of the month over a place called the Noki Gallery in Torrington, Water Street. It's a little place. Look it up. Really nice. And she has something called the Poetry Speakeasy, and she's going to read us some poems right now. But first, I got to adjust this microphone stand. But as she comes up, let's give it up for Patty Martin. Yeah, I'm going to try to help you with this here. Okay. That's good?
Hello, hello. I think it works. Yeah, hey, everybody. It's great to be here. It's great to be a part of this wonderful event and assembly of goddesses. We have the official crowns to prove it. Thank you to Deb for putting this together, to James for making the book happen, to Shaw for being the host with the most. I just love sharing our thoughts, our feelings, our bravery, and bringing everything out into the light, which is what this is all about. The first piece I'm going to read, I actually wrote for another goddess festival in Woodstock, New York, based on a healer I know. It's called The Goddess Speaks Through the Healer. The healer introduced me to Sherenznik, a most revered bodhisattva, also a Terra deity, angelic and Christ-like, the holiest of holies, goddess of unbridled compassion, endless infinite love with many arms eternally reaching out to embrace, enfolding without judgment, radiating the bright, limitless light of golden benevolence. Who wouldn't fall for that? The healer swayed, chanting Shenrenzig's song, Om Mani Padme, over and over again, Om Mani Padme, gracefully waving hands over my body, performing a sacred energy dance, healing the unspeakable, healing the unspoken wounds buried deep within my being, repairing the ancient tear, the slicing rip in my aura field, making me complete and whole once again. It was now time to release and heal the entombed heart from its steely trap of protection. It had valiantly fended off the onslaught of invasions, but the defender had become the prisoner, trapped within my being. And the healer knew it was time to unlock the bars, open me back up again, and set my spirit free. Sweet Savior Shenrenzig anointed my energy, consoled my soul, speaking through the healer, reassuring me I am, once again, as always, whole and beloved in the eyes of the goddess, as it was in the beginning and will be evermore. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. How do I trust the heart again? It has turned on me in a most unexpected way. One that has sent me strapped into an ambulance to a place with curtains and machines and needles. A place with men and women wearing white coats, carrying clipboards, wheeling computers, using strange apparatuses. A place of beeps and charts and graphs. A place of no sleep. A place where I can hear the squish, squish, squishing sound of liquid life coursing through my body as I watch the jagged green pattern dancing across the monitor, wondering what the steps mean. How do I trust the heart again when there was no warning? And the pain wasn't so awful, but the urgency opposed me with no preparation, not even a toothbrush, stripped and wearing the standard, barely modest garb. Such an ugly and odd uniform, really. But there I am, all wired up, right smack dab in the middle of the hustle and bustle, commenting that drugs can be your friend. As I'm wheeled off for a procedure I cannot even begin to wrap my head around before dawn has broken. And just in case they need access, they have shaved my private sacred mound, the slice of hair and hairlessness perfectly symmetrical, like yin and yang without the yang. And I notice it resembles one of those bakery black and white cookies, which amuses me, but not really. After much testing and retesting, after my heart has faded to 35% working order, they tell me that I am not in a risk category, that I do not fit a profile, and that I am experiencing, in a word, takotsubo, which means octopus trap in Japanese, and is a condition also known as broken heart syndrome, a condition that women experience due to stress. I understand. I know about broken hearts. I know about relationships that disappoint and prove to be unworthy. I have paid the emotional price more times than I care to remember. So, after all this, how do I trust the heart again? Dare I trust my heart again? I thought not until I experienced takotsubo, and one man stepped forward, awakening love, opening my heart so I could move on. Mary Magdalene. Mary Magdalene, gods and goddesses watched. They watched as she pulled the sword out from her back. She pulled the sword out from her back and held it up to the sky. Excalibur. From the deep recesses of flesh that long denied a memory too hot to hold. A memory too hot to hold. A memory that burned and scorched the waking cells in her heart. Scorched the waking cells in her heart and in her brain. And in the very depths of her soul, a memory of love that felt more like pain. The love felt like pain as she's learning to love herself. She's learning to love herself. She's loving herself now. And the curve of her back, and the curve of her lips, and the curve of her hips and belly, as they rose and fell with the heat of her breath. They rose and fell on the night when the clouds raced across the moon to see which would collide with the horizon. Clouds racing across the horizon, while Mary Magdalene combed her hair and prepared the oil to wash her beloved's feet. Okay, that was actually based on a story an energy healer told me about, and I went on a fantasy trip with it. I'm going to read two more if I have time. One is mine and one is something I want to share from somebody else. This one is called Woman in My Belly. The woman in my belly, she aches for release. She gasps for freedom. Breathing deep in soul, breathing deep in spirit, breathing in renewed life. renewed life for the birth of self. The woman in my belly radiates true essence. Held by her firm hand, creative lions roar. Raptors of power bow and move aside. Barefoot she walks. She walks through the dark forest without fear of what lurks in the bush. Like a whisper, she glides along the path in a swirl of color, her white gown and veils trailing like mist behind her. They're trailing like mist behind her, and she leaves no shadow. She never forsakes herself. The woman in my belly loves wholly, gives freely, withholds nothing. Eyes wide open, she sees. She sees and receives what is offered in rapture. Eyes wide open, she feels. No past, no future encumber her vision. Each moment alive, ever present, strung together like precious pearls. Perfect prayers on a cosmic rosary. A cosmic rosary. I was just turned on to this song. It's not a brandy new song. I think it's in the last year or so, but it's called High Women, and it's by the High Women. And there's different women singing each stanza, so you hear a different voice, and it's really rather moving and beautiful. I was a high woman and a mother from my youth. For my children, I did what I had to do. My family left Honduras when they killed the Sandinistas. We followed a coyote through the dust of Mexico. Every one of them, except for me, survived. I am still alive. I was a healer. I was gifted as a girl. I laid hands upon the world. Someone saw me sleeping naked in the noon sun. I heard witchcraft in the whispers, and I knew my time had come. The bastards hung me at the Salem Gallows Hill, but I am living still. I was a freedom rider when we thought the South had won Virginia in the spring of '61. I sat down on the Greyhound and was bound for Mississippi. My mother asked me if that ride was worth my life. And when the shots rang out, I never heard the sound. But I am still around. And I'll take that ride again, and again, and again, and again, and again, and again. I was a preacher. My heart broke for all the world. But teaching was unrighteous for a girl. In the summer, I was baptized in the mighty Colorado. In the winter, I heard the hounds, and I knew I had been found. And in my Savior's name, I laid my weapons down. But I am still around. We are the high women singing stories still untold. We carry the sons you can only hold. We are the daughters of the silent generations. You sent our hearts to die alone in foreign nations. It may return to us as tiny drops of rain, but we will still remain. And we'll come back again and again and again and again. We'll come back again and again and again and again.